Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. It's Squeaky Bum time. Probably my last video before deadline. The team is finalised, subject to pressers, subject a little bit to the match tonight between Spurs and PSG. If Solanke does miraculously end up playing 60 or 70 minutes, that will change things a little bit. I will revert back to him probably for João Pedro. We'll see. I don't expect that's going to happen, and too high risk, I think, for minutes for the opening game week. Anyway, spreadsheet is out. You know, when the spreadsheet is out, you know it means business, and you know it means I've probably made up my mind on a few things. Let's run through this. For the uninitiated, the spreadsheet is how I basically run my team. I get it in there. I have an objective. At the moment, I've got the fixtures in there: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those will be replaced by the points of my team over the next 5 game weeks, so I can see if they're achieving their averages of 4 for keeper, 5 for defenders, 6 for midfielders, and 7 for strikers, which gives generally a total of 63. Decent captaincy's choice. Then hopefully I hit that 70 points. 70 points, if I can average that across the season, should give a top 10k, possibly a top 5k finish. I'm adjusting that to top 10k. Do think these DEFCON points are going to change things a wee bit. Just can't be too sure by how much. We're going to have a wider spread of players achieving more points, but at the top end, when we've actually put the various players in our team, are we actually going to be achieving generally higher averages? So will the upper echelons of FPL, the number one winner in the last 3-4 seasons, are generally averaging about 73, 74, 75. That's been very, very consistent. 70 points will normally get you well inside the top 5k, and then just a little bit below that. I achieved 67 last year. It was 55k. Should have been higher. Mistakes, spoken about them long enough. I'm not going to do that anymore. And this year I'm really going to try and stick hard to the spreadsheet. Take no hits. Allow myself just 3 for the season. My analysis of the top 50 players, they take very few hits. Top 50 managers, they take very few hits, and particularly the top 5. And they're just as well as obviously taking no hits. They try to build up team value quite quickly, I've noted. So they go very, very bench light in those early games. The money goes into the teams. So, obviously trying to take some key learnings from that. But above all else, I think the thing for me, the key learning from last year where I didn't follow my own spreadsheet rules, is if players are not hitting their averages, or as I like to achieve, and will become clear in the spreadsheet as the season goes on, as the game weeks tick by, 3 returns in 5 out of a player. 2 returns in 5 is acceptable if there's decent fixtures going forward. 1, unless it's a really, really, really good reason, they're gone. And that is the one that cost me the most last year, is I didn't follow my own rules. Cole Palmer is the obvious example. That'll cost me so many points not moving him out. I think many of us did it, so I'm not won't hold myself too much to blame for that. But even Salah in those last 10, 12, he should have been gone. And seriously, if I just followed my own rules, and there's probably a few other examples of it. Those are the two most striking ones. I would have had a much higher finish. So trying to remain more disciplined in my own rules this year is going to be key. So this is the team. I won't talk too much to it. I've talked to it a lot in recent videos. There hasn't been too many, if any, changes, or it was just really that final confirmation on a few positions. But just very, very quickly, Sanchez, looks good. Minor chance could change to sells still, and that is simply because there's a bit of a rumour going around potential goalkeeper purchase by Chelsea. But I think at this stage, I think he's certainly going to be safe for the first few game weeks. So I think it's going to be Sanchez. Decent enough fixture in game week 1. I am still undecided on whether I free hit 2. Remember, I'm trying to catch that upside in these first few game weeks, potentially playing chips early. If things go well in game week 1, probably won't fit, and I'm over the 70 points. I've created a bit of a buffer. I'll probably just stick with the team. Fixtures are not great, but they're not awful, and I'd probably look to bring in don't know, probably Joker is, I think, for Leeds United at home, and he could come in place of Bowen probably. Yeah. Anyway, there's a number of things potentially could do here. Actually, I wouldn't have enough money, would I? That's where the free hit would be good to bring in that triple Arsenal. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I have put a free hit team together. Looks pretty decent. Looks as though it should achieve that 70-point average. But until we have real up-to-date numbers, I'm basing things around last year's numbers, etc., as in like Sanchez. It's going back to Sanchez, achieved just barely under the 4-point average last year. Anyway, decent fixture, game week 2, good fixture, game week 3. Was looking at the potential wild card for 4. The reason for looking at a potential wild card for 4 was we'll start to get a clearer picture around these DEFCON points and how these DEFCON points are affecting, as there start to be some real little gems emerging that none of us have thought about at 4.5 or 5 that are hitting DEFCON, keeping a clean sheet, or in midfield. Is there like a nice little 5, 6.5, even a 4.5 that's hitting DEFCON and not looking bad? We don't know. I do know DEFCON will affect things. We don't know by how much, but my prediction is it's going to have a bigger effect than we think. And also, I am currently on a 3-5-2. It will not surprise me if we're all on 4-5-1s by game week 10. We'll see if that transpires. In fact, I put together some good 5-4-1s that look really, really good. Based around what some of these defenders that would have normally finished on 120, 130 points. So I think they're going to be clicking over that 150, 160. Yeah. Say last year the only defender to hit over 150 was Gavardio. There's going to be a lot more over that 150, and they are not going to be names that you expect. And 2 of those names that I have in there that I think will hit that 150 plus, I think they're going to be DEFCON monsters, Milenkovic and Tarkowski. Nothing to say there. Decent, well-settled defences, decent enough fixtures, both DEFCON monsters. They'll achieve it in at least 50% of their games. And as I say, good clean sheet potential. And both Milenkovic and Tarkowski carry a goal threat. So there's attacking potential there as well. Could be some big holes there. Fingers crossed. Porro's my little punt. Yeah, I know Van der Ven's the flavour of the month. Just Porro for me with Maddison injured. He's going to be on a lot of set pieces. He is not bad for DEFCON. It's obviously a good fixture. City away in 2, but if I'm free hitting, don't need to worry about that. So we'll see how that transpires. But yeah, he's got the whole potential. I mean, I am going for it. I said this before. They say, you can't win FPL in the first few game weeks, but you can certainly lose it. I disagree. You might not be able to win it in the first few game weeks, and I don't think for a second I am going to win it. But I'm going to have a crack. And you can put yourself in a better position to have a chance of winning it in those first few game weeks, I think, if you have some decent differentials, if you do catch a little wet sail on a few players and get yourself, entrenched up there in that top few thousand, and then you're giving yourself a punt. But yeah, we're going to, go very, very template, and I've certainly got template picks in there, and I've certainly got picks that are designed to protect me from highly owned players, but I've got a few punts in there. I've definitely got a few punts in there that could hurt me, but they could pay big. And I'm confident enough in my own system as last year, where I had a reasonable start in the first couple, but then had an absolutely disastrous 4, 5, 6, I think it was 7, and then made adjustments and then pretty much stuck to the spreadsheet for the season. And I ended up in 55,000. If I hadn't made those mistakes, if I hadn't had those punts at the beginning of the season, yeah, I would have finished a lot higher. But you got to have a crack, haven't you? You got to have a go. We'll have a go. And Porro for me is my statement certainly on having a go. Burnley at home, he's on set pieces, decent start, chance of a clean sheet, and there's an attacking return potential there as well. We know that from Porro. History says that, and it's a sort of fixture where he could go very large, or it could all go sadly wrong. Palmer, Palmer playing it safe. He's looked better. Simply he's looked better. Good run of fixtures, it's Palmer. He's capable. We know what he's capable of. But I think he may now be the highest owned midfielder. I think he's overtaken Salah. We'll talk about Salah in a second. So yeah, Palmer's in. Good fixtures, particularly if I don't do the free hit 2 and the wild card 4. I think I'm probably potentially. I mean, looking here, I think I'm potentially leaning more toward wild card 5. Looking at the fixtures there. Because that actually doesn't look too bad up to 4. It's just that game week 2 is the really nasty one, and a transfer here, transfer 2 can rectify a few things. Bring in Saka for the right fixture, bring in Gyökeres. I mean, I'll potentially lose Salah in game week 2, probably for Saka. I think probably for Saka, frees up a bit of money. Can do something else then in game week 3. Maybe bring in Bruno. In fact, highly likely. Let's see. Sesko's another one. Look at to have a wee look at. I think, but yeah, we'll see. There's a lot of decisions that are thought about but not made, and that is free hit 2, wildcard 4. I'm thinking more 5. The more I look at this, I think wildcard 5, and then really sort of set ourselves up. Where were we? So yeah, Palmer, highly owned. Need to have him. Looking good. And let's hope we get good Palmer, not bad Palmer. That I should have moved out of my team after game week 20 last year. Realistically, game week 2021, and never brought him back. Would have been a much better season. Wirtz, yeah, I like Wirtz. He looks good, doesn't he? So yeah, this is very much again the fixture play and just my feeling that Bournemouth could be there to be taken. They could prove me completely wrong. Kirkus is gone, Hoyson is gone, the whole of that defence is gone from last year, and one or two other players besides. Liverpool as an attack, as a defence, I don't like the look of them at all at the moment. They'll come right, I'm sure, and that's when your Frimpong's etc. will come into my thinking, because I really like Frimpong, but just no Frimpong for now, but he'll certainly be on my watch list. But yeah, this is a fixture. Wirtz looks good. His link-up play is, apart from that, the what's his name, cup final thing, the Charity Shield. His link-up play with Salah has looked good in pre-season, as well as with other players. There is going to be a lot going through him. He looked as though he's going to be an assist, as I said, weeks and weeks. He's been literally in every single draft. That is not going to change. He is in. Like the look of him. Great fixture. Fingers crossed. Johnson. Okay, this is another punty one. I am not seeing Johnson appear anywhere. I really like Johnson. I believe Thomas Frank likes Johnson. I think someone I had only one backer in the comments in my last video. They said, "Yeah, Johnson. Thomas Frank loves him. Tried to buy him when he was at Brentford." I wasn't actually aware of that. Thank you for that. Gives me a little bit of positive affirmation on that one, because it does worry me a little bit that what's wrong with Johnson? He is a good player. This is a great fixture. I think he's going to thrive under Thomas Frank. So yeah, I think he could go large, and I'd be quite worried about Kudos. I think Spurs have. Yeah, I'd be more worried about Kudos if people are pushing. I know you like Kudos, Alan, but I don't know. I think Spurs have. I thought something about Spurs buying someone. His minutes could be under threat. It's gone out of my head. Someone that they're someone that could be coming in could be a threat to Kudos's minutes. Maybe not for the first game week or two, but going forward potentially. No, I like Johnson. He's in. I could be absolute egg on my face on this one. But I'm going with it. Again, this is one of those differentials that if it comes off could really pay big dividends. And I think, Johnson has that little flat track bully thing about him. He's very direct. He'll be, if Solanke's back, he'll be even more of a threat. I'll talk about Solanke in a minute. Yeah, looking good. Johnson's in. Right, where I did listen to you, Alan, and I took out that other fella I had, Armstrong. It looks like it'd be a bonus points monster and a good steady Eddie, 4 points, 5 points. I think with some of the City injuries, I look more at it. Raniers, he really has got that upside. He's box to box. He's going to hit that box. I have looked at him a couple of times. Always worried about the pep roulette, but little bit of that City attack. Given that I haven't gotten anyone else, because I do worry about the pep roulette, and obviously I can't afford Haaland. He's in. He's in, and again, maybe a little punty one, although I think his ownership is going up now. But, those are some nice fixtures there. And if he is, and I think he will certainly be a reasonably safe bet for the first few game weeks. But it's Pep. And we've all been caught out by Pep. And we'll all be caught out again. And maybe this is the time when I get caught out by it again. But I'm going to take a punt on this one. As I said, coming out swinging in this first game. Almost treating it like a free hit. Going for it. Salah. I can't believe. Can I believe? Well, yeah. There's a lot of knee jerking going on. Salah has dropped down in ownership to below 50% after that Charity Shield final. Keep selling, guys. Keep selling, because the times you're back against Salah is the times where he just comes and bloody punishes you. And I should know. Listen, is Salah going to be the same asset as last year? Is he going to get 300 points plus? No, he is not. He absolutely isn't. Not sure I will have Salah in my team post wildcard, or even post this game, because he will probably go as I maybe bring in Bruno Fernandes for 3, and that gives me a little bit of money for 4 to maybe go to I don't know, Jokeris potentially. There's some reasonable options. Isaac, he goes to Liverpool. That's going to happen, by the way. Yeah, that's going to happen. Etikite is a very, very good early season punt, by the way, as well. But I don't think we can rely on him for minutes once Isaac arrives. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. There's a story to be told there, I am sure. But yeah, Salah, Bournemouth home, decimated defence. Captain's armband is on him, and as I say, I think his ownership is dropping. It's still very high, obviously, so we can't really call him a differential, but his value as an asset is going up for me, not down after that performance. Friendlies, seriously, you can't judge too much by friendlies. Like I said, he's not going to get 300 points plus. That's impossible. But is he capable of getting 2 returns? A couple of penalties against a panicky, decimated Bournemouth defence? Be scared, folks, if you haven't got him. Be very, very scared. One of the picks I don't like, I'm still not very happy with my forward line, in truth. João Pedro, good fixtures, obviously in great form pre-season, looking like he's loving life at Chelsea. But Delap is going to take minutes off him, and as I have spoken often about, 40% of goals in the Premier League are scored in the last 30 minutes, and the highest percentage of that 40% are scored in the last 10 minutes. And he ain't going to be on the pitch in most occasions, or any occasion, I suspect. But over 50% ownership. There's other 7.5 options. I'm not going to take a swing on this one. My swing would be Mateta. I love Mateta. The fixtures are difficult, though. That could be one that bites me on the bum. I love Mateta. He's looking good. He's looking like a beast. And he can score against anyone. And he's on penalties. Or we'll probably be sharing with Eze, but I think after the way he put his penalty away against Liverpool during the actual match, the way he put his penalty away in the penalty shootout, and the way Eze missed his penalty, I think we can be pretty sure he's going to be next up on penalties and may hang on to them for a bit until he misses, and then maybe Eze gets back on them. Speaking of Eze, love Eze, have considered Eze, but there is still transfer risk around him, so we'll have Eze again, like Isaac and like a few other players. Story for another day. Gone Bowen. Just going for me, ever reliable Bowen. He did so well for me last year. West Ham score. Say it every video. West Ham score. Bowen's involved. I'd have liked to have got to Jokeris, but there's no way of doing that without having to do other things in the team. Taking João Pedro, I guess, down to end of end. Thought long and hard about it. I'm just going to go with Bowen. It's Sunderland. Not the easiest, not as easy a fixture as maybe as it looks on paper. That home ground is going to be rocking. It's going to be absolutely rocking. But do I think West Ham could lose? Do I think West Ham could lose that game? Absolutely, I do. But do I think West Ham are going to get a goal or 2? Yes, I do. And do I think Bowen's going to be involved in both of them, or certainly one of them? Maybe get one an assist? better than average chance based on averages. Bowen is involved in over 50% of any goal West Ham score. They get a couple of goals. He should be getting something out of that. That is the team. It is a lock. Subject to Solanke. If by some miracle Solanke got minutes tonight, I think I'd bring him in. Probably for João Pedro, to be honest with you, given the fixture. Do I think Solanke's going to get many minutes tonight? Nah, not really. Not really. Not really. Unlikely to happen. So this is pretty much the lock. As I say, I think I probably will free hit 2 unless this team does suddenly come in with 100. Then it'll revert back in 3. Those fixtures look pretty good, and I'll do a transfer somewhere. Game week 4 looks grand, and again, I think I will bypass doing the wild card then and just maybe use another transfer. 5 or wild card. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 game weeks of data, and then we'll see some patterns emerging, and that's when we really start to look at. Just ignore my bench. The way I'm playing at the moment, the bench is very light. I've got Dorgu, who will obviously come in for the Burnley fixture for United, along with probably Sesko or someone like that. We'll look at the watch list. So a lot of my content, I just don't see the point in doing stuff that other people are doing, that your FPL mates and things like that are doing. They do it, and they'd be doing it better than me. That sort of deeper analysis and all the various things that they do. And I watch all of it, OCD days. However, I do want to try and make my own content a bit more useful for you guys this year, and it'll also, I think, particularly this season, be useful for me. I think my spreadsheet, the way I designed it, is particularly useful. As I say, I'm showing myself 63 points. 63 points there. I try and achieve that average of 70. Now, as I say, until we get to up-to-date data, and I start to fill in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and what they've actually achieved, and seeing those fixtures going out, and then adjust it ongoing. And then obviously I've got my my watch list. Currently, I've just got a bit of a generic watch list there. I've got a player from most teams. Gonna try and make this watch list more useful for you guys as well, and actually have it fairly extensive. Obviously the sort of the players that we should be looking for those hidden gems. So I'll probably be running 15 to 20 players at any given time in my watch list. There'll be a particular focus in these early game weeks around looking for those DEFCON monsters. In fact, there may just be a completely separate section of a watch list underneath here, DEFCON monsters, looking for some of those 4.5, 5 million gems, maybe even a 4 million one will emerge. They're getting regular 2 points DEFCON, 2 points appearance points, little bit of attacking threat, and for 4.55 million, maybe we're actually trying to find those nice 5, 6 steady averages, which then will allow us, to maybe have a Haaland Salah if needed in the future, etc. We can find a couple of those DEFCON monsters. I don't have the answers to those, but I'm hoping, as I say, as I fill that out, it's going to be useful for you guys as well as for me, as we look for those sort of players, as well as obviously tracking the other players that we want to keep an eye on. How Joker is settling in, what are his averages looking like, what are the fixtures like, when does he have the fixture turn, because obviously Joker is there, that fixture turn in 7, West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Burnley. Well, yeah, all going well, and if he's doing reasonably well in those earlier fixtures, Jacques comes in for João Pedro, who's having a fixture turn around the same time, whereas fixtures are actually getting much harder. That sort of thing. It's like a jigsaw. A way I'll use it is like a jigsaw, trying to see who's got the averages, who's got the fixtures, how do they jigsaw into my existing team to replace players that are either falling out of form or have really tough runs of fixtures coming, and getting that average 70. Now, happily, I'm just predicting 63 on this. As I say, do I think my players are going to achieve the average based on last year, based on the fixtures? Yeah, I think we've got a better than average chance. Happily, just a quick look. Happily, FPL Hub, we'll move that out there now. There's enough spreadsheeting for now. Yeah, FPL Hub is tending to agree with me there. Oh, we're inverted. course we are. Oh, that's better. Yeah, it's tending to agree with me. What's it showing there? Oh, wrong game week, for fuck's sake. Desmond, you dickhead. FPL Hub showing me 67 points. Game week 2. Sorry, that was actually the example of the actual drop for game week 2. I won't bother bringing up the other one. That's just showing that it actually does drop down a wee bit. No. Oh, no, sorry. No, what we got here. Boom, 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 boom. Sorry, that is actually my free hit team. Sorry, bit of a mess up there, guys. It's me. What do you expect? Yeah. Game week 1 in FPL Hub looks pretty good. Actually, looks pretty good. Game week 2. This is just a little play with a free hit team. It's not set in concrete by any manner or means. Have a look if you want. But it's it's showing that sort of 64 points. Bringing in Jokeris, bringing in a Gabriel, obviously good fixtures. So was just having to play with that earlier, and I've obviously pulled that up by accident. Anyway, have a look, take a screenshot if you want. It's certainly not final by any manner or means, so don't read too much into it. But obviously is what I'm trying to do there is getting 3 Arsenal assets for that if I go down that path. Anyway, after that minor lip, goodbye. The FPL Don't Panic League, we've got 2 days to go. God, how time has gone by quickly and so incredibly slowly in one way, hasn't it? Yeah, FPL Don't Panic League. I will be closing off on Friday deadline, so there will be no more entries for the league. So it's nice and fair right across the season for everyone. We will do prize for the best team name. Some absolute crackers in there at the moment. We'll do a video on that next week when I choose a winner. That is the design for the t-shirt there, you can just see. And the winner, best team name, will get an FPL Don't Panic. Don't talk to me about FPL t-shirt, which I will get printed up after we have a winner so I can get the right size for you. So it may take a few weeks. There will be the weekly Bishop Brennan Cup Award. The Bishop Brennan Cup is still currently residing in my suitcase. I will get that out and dust that off next week. So for the Bishop Brennan Cup is for the top point score on each game week, taking into account, or basically taking out, if you played a chip. So we're actually looking at a clean game. Your clean 11, taking out if you played a triple captain or a bench boost. It's the team. First 11, taking into account, chips, etc. And of course, we'll have a winner at the end of the season of the league. There will be a prize, which will be a T-shirt. I'll be back in New Zealand at that stage, I think. Pretty sure will be, although we never know at the moment. Life is complicated at the moment, folks. I've got business and family stuff that I'm looking after here in Ireland, but I do expect I'll be back in New Zealand probably around October time. So if I am back in New Zealand, obviously by the end of the season, we'll do the FPL Don't Panic t-shirt as a prize for the winner, and I'll put a little bit of a New Zealand goodie bag together, something nice. You're not getting Manuka honey though. That is fucking expensive shite. That's it, folks. I don't think, unless there is a significant change, I don't think I'll be back before deadline, unless it's just for a quick 5-minute lock-in sort of thing. But I think that's going to be it. Those that have bared with me across the last 4 or 5 weeks of many waffles, many spreadsheets, many changes of mind, all of those things, thank you so much. Really do appreciate your support. Love the conversations. And I've had good guidance in there, by the way. I've had very, very good guidance. Alan, as I said, I have gone with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer pick for City. Didn't go kudos though. Couldn't go there. But yeah, got lots of good. This is what we're here to do, is help each other. We've got a really good league. We've got a really nice community growing here. I'm absolutely loving it. Loving the discussions. Really love to see the league achieve really high averages across the board, and us all to sort of get as many of us as we can into that sort of top 100k, sort of helping each other, support each other. So the FPL Don't Panic League review I'll do on a weekly basis. We'll decide I'll get the Bishop Brennan Cup winner. But I'll also review that team, obviously, but whoever is number 1 in our league, just to see what they're doing right. Let's see, get some key pointers. Is there anything we can learn from each other as we all strive for an amazing Fantasy Premier League 25-26 season. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon. Take care. Have fun. Play your own game. Don't panic. Deadline on Friday. See you soon. Bye-bye.